Hi, my name is Samuel Ojetunde. I'm a data analyst. I analyze data and get actionable insights from it. I'm from Oyo State. Well, I reside in Lagos anyway. Okay, so how I got into Learn to Earn. Well, that fateful day, my brother just called, man. He said, Samuel, apply for this opportunity. I mean, I didn't even know what it was because I thought I actually saw opportunities more than him. So when he sent me the link, then told me to apply. Then I applied for it. I saw zero tuition, peer-to-peer learning, so I was interested. I said, let's go for this. So that same afternoon, when he sent it to me, I applied for it. I started playing the game. The day I was picked, I told my mom, I said, Mom, finally, I was picked. The part of the program that demands the most discipline, I would say everything. I mean, the raid, the audits, the quest itself, the checkpoints. Which one doesn't deserve enough discipline? None deserves any iota of indiscipline. So I would say everything deserves the optimal discipline you could give it. What do I hope to achieve? What do I hope to achieve? I strive so much to be a tech person, like an AI native developer, not just by certification, not just by projects now, but by art, by knowing it and taking away my imposter syndrome, able to stand my ground, able to defend my project anywhere, anytime, any day. So if you are someone like me watching this, I will tell you that take away every iota of competition. If you are coming to Learn to Earn, no, you are not here to compete with anyone. It is your own business. I will tell you to mind your own business, because you can get to this place and start getting carried away with the things going around you, with how people are fast to do their stuff, the pressure. But then when you tend to mind your own business, just like I'm doing right now, you just flow. You flow with your own pace, with your own speed, and at your own right time. And then you are not losing out. You make sure that you are learning accurately. When you check back, when you give yourself a self-examination, you can give yourself a noteworthy thanks, like, yeah, Samuel, you've done it to this point, and yeah, this is making sense for you. It's not as though you're just following the crowd. You're actually making sense of something you're doing. That's what I will tell you. And I also tell you that work with people. Yoruba would say, meaning when we work together in unity, we'd achieve more. So do not just be a person that stands alone. No one is an island of knowledge. So relate with your peers, relate with everyone around you. When you have the knowledge, share to them. And when you see that they have, don't be proud. Get from them. When you do it together, you all grow together to become great someone someday.
Oh, hi everyone. Okay, we'll start again. We'll start again. Please confirm you can hear me now. Am I audible now? Oh, fantastic. Great. Good morning again. Thank you for making out the time to join us. I had said this is our first YouTube live of the year. We're incredibly excited to have you here. Whether you're joining from Ibadan, Kaduna, Lagos, or Tukbo. I've seen some people from Ilorin in the house, Abuja, and pretty much anywhere else across Nigeria. We are absolutely excited to have you here for what is going to be an incredibly insightful and inspiring session, starting a career in tech, what it actually takes in 2026. My name is Gifts Oyawane, and I'm your host for today. And as you can tell, we've got an amazing lineup of speakers ready to demystify the tech world, share some real talk, and show you that a thriving career in technology is not just a dream. It's not something people just talk about, but it's very real and accessible for you right here, right now. And today, we'll walk you through all the steps to get started. We understand that you might be curious about tech, but feel a bit unsure where to start, how they actually do this thing they talk about that sometimes sounds mysterious. um Today we are going to talk about all of those things, challenge the myths, and provide you most especially with clarity, relatability, and a tangible next step on how to get started. And if you already have some tech background, how to accelerate that and move it to the next level. So our ultimate goal for you today is that by the end of this session, we want you and every single person on this call to feel empowered to take your very first step or your next step in tech, which is to register and play the learn-to-earn game. It's your entry point into the program that allows you to learn tech, earn while learning, and secure real career opportunities. So we'll be dropping the link in the chats throughout the event. Make sure you keep an eye out for that. And yeah, get ready to engage, ask questions in the chat, and let's dive into a conversation that could truly transform your future. That's enough talk. Without further ado, let's meet our speakers. I would be starting with David, then Emmanuel, and Kessia. Just to confirm, everyone is here now. Okay, let's do Emmanuel first. So, Emmanuel, tell the listener on this call, just in a sentence or two, who you are and why you're excited to be here today. Emmanuel, just to confirm, I am audible still. Okay, great. Okay, while we wait for Emmanuel, Kessia, if you hear me, please tell the audience who you are today. Okay, one sec, guys. We're still here. We're still here. While we wait for Mr. Emmanuel, Kessie, and David, you can just, as we're doing already, tell us where you are joining us from. I see a number of people from Ado Ekiti, exciting. I see Ibadan in the house as well. Jigawa, I think this is the first Jigawa we're seeing on the call. Just tell us where you are joining us from this morning. Hi from Abuja. All right. Kesia, do you hear me good? Great. Tell the people who you are.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kessia. I'm the CEO of Learn to Earn. I'm South African, but I'm based in London. I started my career as a lawyer, but I became really interested in one question, and that was how do we get more people into meaningful work and specifically into tech? I built a company in the UK focused on training software engineers, and now I've turned my attention to Africa, my home continent. And together with Iwanalua Aboyeji, we're building Learn to Earn to unlock tech talent at scale. It's
Fantastic.
great to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Kesia. While we wait for Emmanuel and David to join, I see you have some fans in the comments, especially from Ilori, which is not very surprising. Yes, everyone else asking questions, updates from Kaduna and everywhere else would talk about that on the call today. Yes, glad to have you all here as well. Let me just check in quickly if Emmanuel is here now. While we wait for them, Kesia, what are you most excited about talking to the people about today? For most people on this call, they've just heard about Learn to Earn. They are not sure what this program is. Do they just dash money? What is tech even? What is AI? Um, Actually, hold that up. We'll come back to it. We have Emmanuel and David now. Welcome, guys. We're just doing introductions. So, Emmanuel, if you can hear me, just confirm and tell the people who you are.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? My friend?
It's muffled. Try again. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Kesia, what do you think? Can we manage the audio?
Sorry, Gift, what do you think? It's not quite clear.
We'll come back to you, Emmanuel. Hi, David. Please confirm you can hear me.
I think
Yes,
it's
I can. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Tell the people who you are this morning.
All right. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is David Akombi. I'm a professor. I currently work and live in the United States while leading a university in Nigeria. And in the last 10 years, I've watched Kesia and in building an excellent platform across Africa. And I'm excited to join the team to see how we can expand this by career. I'm a tech person, not just a tech person, I'm a tech trainer, tech coach, and a tech entrepreneur. So I've built two institutions, a university and a polytechnic in Nigeria that focus specifically on taking people from zero level to 100%, like from nothing to competency. So I lead two institutions that focus on competency-based learning, taking people from zero knowledge into becoming experts within a reasonable amount of time. And how we do that is to make sure that these programs that we have developed, they meet the regulatory standard. They now combine skill and the regulatory standards to provide graduates with knowledge, competency, and expertise that will make them to graduate and at the same time to be employable from day one. So that's what I do, and I'm excited to join us today. And let's see how we go from here. Thank you.
Thank you. We're excited to meet you as well. Hi, Emmanuel. Let's see.
Can you hear me? Is it better?
We can try. Just let's go through the intros.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Cassia. Thank you to the team. My name is Emmanuel Gabriel. I'm from Kaduna, Nigeria. the CEO of Paragon Nigeria. And what we were trying to do is to drive prosperity to Africa. And we've done that by running programs, projects. And me, myself, I'm a tech person. I've managed projects. I've worked with the parts as well. Also the ecosystem director for the Innovation Support Network, which is ISN. We will focus on supporting accelerators, incubators, co-working spaces owners across Nigeria. That a little bit about myself. I do other stuff around policy development and also in governance as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. So without taking up further time, I would go right into the questions. So the format today for people just joining in is we do a few questions, just get to set context for why we're on this call. But most importantly, we want to hear from you. So we have most of our time allocated to questions and answered. We want to hear your thoughts, things you're thinking about, things you are unsure or unclear on. And our speakers who have generously cleared up their schedules to be here would be answering that. So our first question is to Kesia. Kesia, if you were to explain tech to a younger version of yourself, someone sitting right here in the audience today, what would you tell them that technology is?
Okay, if I had to explain tech simply, I would say tech is using tools like phones and computers to solve problems and make life easier. At its core, it's about giving clear instructions to a machine. That's what we call code. So it can do useful things for people. So whether that's sending a message or building an app, it all starts with learning how to think in steps and solve problems. You don't need to have it all figured out to start. Most people that you think are ahead just started earlier. They're not smarter. And if you start now and you stay consistent, you absolutely can build a career in this space.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So as our speakers are going through the questions, you can start noting down whatever is unclear, questions you want to ask them in the chat or on a piece of paper, and would address all of them shortly. So my next question is to David. Okay, he's here. David, your office as VC gives you, and from your intro as well, a front row seat in shaping Africa's tech ecosystem. My question is, where do you see tech in Africa going over the next decade? And why do you believe that now is such a critical moment for young people to get involved?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. I see tech in Africa. I see tech in Africa becoming the main thing that drives our economy in the next 10 years. What do I mean by driving our economy? If you see the sentiment around educational systems in Nigeria, by extension West Africa, a lot of young people, a lot of even grown adults, they are losing faith in traditional education. They are encouraging their students, their children, their cousins, their family members to go into tech. And that is a sentiment that is being present across various sectors right now. And you see a lot of professionals coming back to school to learn about tech. You see a lot of young children going to coding classes, trying to learn how to position themselves for the tech industry. And by extension, globally now, you can see that Africa, by extension, Nigeria by extension, Africa, we have the largest population of the youth of the young generation. So meaning that in the coming years, the other world will be, the Western world will be looking into Africa for talent, tech talent that will solve global problems. So the best way anybody can prepare now is to position themselves to join the train, position themselves to be among those who will be available for global opportunities. As more opportunities become available, it's only those who are prepared themselves, those who are ready, those who have the skills, those who have the competencies, will be able to plug themselves into this global opportunity. So Africa is ripe for tech harvest, like I call it, but it's not going to become available unto everyone. It's only going to be available unto those who have equipped themselves, who have the competencies, who can work on projects and deliver. As a vice chancellor of a university, I see a lot of graduates, PhD holder, coming back to the university to take courses on software engineering. And that rate is alarming. And we see a lot of people mentioning specifically, I want my children to just go into tech. That is alarming. But at the same time, as we are seeing those people, there are still millions of people that do not know that you don't even necessarily need to go to a college. And there are so many other opportunities like Learn to Earn that you can start today, you can join today and position yourself for this global opportunity. So to summarize, Nigeria is there already. A lot of funding is coming into Nigeria. A lot of investors are coming into Nigeria. And these opportunities will only be optimized by those who have the knowledge, the competencies, and the network to optimize them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. My next question, taking insights from what you have just said, is to Kesia. What does access really mean for a young person trying to break into tech? And yes, there are programs like this, but how does a program like Learn to Earn change the equation?
So access is everything. A problem we face is that Africa is full of bright and capable young people, but too many are locked out by university fees that they can't afford, or training that teaches theory and not real-world skills, or by where they live and poor infrastructure that can make opportunity feel far away. And at the same time, the world needs people who can build with code and AI. Most companies don't care where you live, they care what you can deliver. So there's this gap between potential and opportunity, and what Learn to Earn does is it connects those two things. We find high potential people, we train them in skills that are actually in demand, and then we connect them to real work opportunities. Importantly, we remove some of the biggest barriers. So the training is free, and we support people with a stipend while they're learning. So it becomes possible to focus and actually build something. At the same time, AI is changing the world. It won't replace everyone, but the people who know how to use AI will win. If there's anyone out there that doesn't know what AI is, it stands for artificial intelligence. And it's when we teach a computer how to think and learn on its own. And our vision at Learn to Earn is to see a world in the next decade where apps and software and AI used by billions of people around the world are in fact built by developers trained in Africa. So we want Africa to be the world's capital of AI-ready talent, and Learn to Earn exists to make that real. And we will start in Nigeria. And we're hoping that some of those builders are on this call.
Yes, I think they are. Thank you very much for that. My next question, we have just a few more to go, is to all three of you, but I'll start with Emmanuel. For someone watching right now and they feel scared, unsure, unqualified, or, like they missed the window, what would you want them to know? Emmanuel?
All right. Thank you so much. Dude. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a time where I worked in a tech space. I did not understand anything or what people were saying. People were just using terms like APIs, like back end, like deployment, and I was just there. What's actually going on? I felt behind. I felt like everyone else has figured life out except me. But there is what I realized later, and most of those people also started confused. Nobody started tech feeling confident. Nobody started tech or knowing that he has everything all figured out. So if you're watching me right now and you feel scared or you feel not smart enough, like you don't have the background, you are exactly where most people started from. The difference is not just the intelligence, right? The difference is the decision. And a lot of people wait until they feel ready, until they feel they have money, until they feel they have clarity. But the moment you rarely come out of that point, instead, what you should focus on and the actual work is you should start small, start consistently, grow into confidence, and let me say something very, very important. Tech is not one of the few industries where your background matters less than effort. You don't need to have a perfect degree or connection, or maybe you are living in Lagos alone. But what you need to understand is you can start from the point you are, and learn to earn is here to also give you that pathway and that consistency. So you don't need to miss anything. So my final word will be if there's anything you need to have, is you should start early and you should have a constant mindset to grow at it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David Kesia, if you wanted to speak on that as well, what would you want someone starting from where they are today to know?
Thank you very much. I will just tell you a little bit more about what tech can do and why it's very important for anybody to start now instead of feeling of being left behind. I come from a very humbling family. I dropped out of the Federal Polytechnic at July 2nd, 2001, because my parents cannot afford their tuition. What changed my life is having access to tech computing. How did I gain access? I gained access by working as an office assistant in a computer training center. And as an office assistant in that computer training center, I started looking at how, just I wasn't the person being trained. I was just a cleaner in that center. And I would just pick look at what they're doing. Gradually, I started picking one or two things. And that sets the foundation for my new life and my new career. And that's positioned me today to become who I have become today. Why do I have to tell you this story? I need to tell you this story as an individual looking at me right now. You are not late. You just need an opportunity to start. And I can tell you categorically from my story, tech is a leveler. It levels you up and is at the same time is an accelerator. It accelerates your journey. If it can look like my story, somebody without a university degree, as at that time, I didn't have the money to go to Polytechnic, but because of the knowledge, the competencies, the expertise I gained from learning computing, it has positioned me today to be one of the best in my field. And so I've been able to found two institutions, a university and a polytechnic, with a lot of people being trained, a lot of people working for me just from that same knowledge. All my friends, all my colleagues or associates that appear to have gone ahead of me, tech has given me an accelerator that makes it to look as if now I didn't lose anything. So you are not losing anything, you are not missing out, you have not missed out. You just have to start. Anytime you start tech, it is when you can grow in it. So what I can tell you categorically today is that It's okay to start with curiosity, but at the same time, you need to take the first step. The first step is to optimize every opportunity available to you to plug yourself in and begin to learn. I can take a bet on you. If you start today, in the next 1 year, with your consistency and persistency, your story is going to change and your life will not remain the same. And then when we come back or we have the opportunity to have this conversation in the future, you're going to thank yourself for taking this first step. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. To ensure like we do our best to keep working in time, I'm going to just move on from this question and shrink the next few questions into two. So two more questions, and we'll open up the floor for Q&A. My next question is to Emmanuel first. Looking at Kaduna, Emmanuel, where would you say you see the biggest opportunities emerging in the next 3 to 5 years, and how does Learn to Win fit into that picture? A side note to that question is, what knowledge gaps do you see that people are sleeping on, especially in this age of AI and AI tech?
Thank you so much, Gabe. So it's a two question in one, right?
Mhm.
A lot is happening in Kaduna, but many people don't realize that because it's not loud. And we are seeing a quiet but powerful shift where many young people are entering into tech, where communities and training programs are also growing rapidly, where remote work is opening global doors for people right here in Kaduna. And honestly, Kaduna is one of the like what people would say secondary city. Kaduna is one of the most underrated tech ecosystem in Nigeria right now. And I will say this not from theory, but from what I have seen every day. A few years back, if I was told or someone in Kaduna you were into tech, the assumption would be like you are fixing laptops or you are going to Shaba Cafe. But that perception is not the case right now today because the story has changed. Right now in Kaduna, you can see people working with remote companies in US, in UK, in Europe, like outsource global started here in Kaduna State, like guys from top stars. Yes, I can remember people work from Kaduna to working to companies like Andela, and you have communities training thousands of people in tech skills. You have programs like the TMTT, like the Deep Tech program. You have local hubs in the state that are bringing out initiatives, quietly building talent. You also have people earning in dollars without leaving their houses, right? But the interesting part is the opportunities are growing fast than people are aware of. That's the real gap. People are still thinking, I need to learn how to code for 4 years, or I need to learn how to code for 2 years before I start anything. Meanwhile, someone else is doing customer service support in a tech company or managing products or running digital marketing campaigns or analyzing data or using no code tools to build solutions, and they are earning from it. So the biggest skill gap that people are sleeping on is revolves around the non-technical skill gap, which is communication, being able to explain things clearly, problem solving, not just learning the tools, but thinking around how these tools can turn to practical solutions that can help humans, and also consistency, showing up daily, even when it seems boring, and also the practical tech part on AI, on software engineering. And these are the big gaps, right? People consume a lot of YouTube content, Twitter content, courses, but there is no exact structure on how to go about it. they don't just build, they run by unstructured manner and approach. And in tech, execution is everything. And Kaduna is not lacking talent. It's just that there are more people who need to move from just watching to doing. You don't need to have a great start, but you need to start to become great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. So we'll do one final question and we'll start audience Q&A. My last question here is to Kesia. Kesia, even from looking at the comments, a lot of people are wondering and asking, how does the program work? How can I, someone in the audience right now, join and begin my journey right now? Sign up today and start this wonderful thing we've been talking about. Also, are there success stories you could share that really captures the impact of Learn to Earn?
Okay, thanks, Gift. Well, it begins with a test that's open to everyone. If you are over the age of 18 and a Nigerian citizen, you can apply. You don't need to have any sort of coding experience or special degree. The first stage is a gamified test, which you can do on your phone. We check for short-term memory, logic, and problem solving. If you pass that test, we invite you to a 4-week-long, very intensive coding bootcamp, which we call the trials. During this month, we assess your motivation and your resilience. What we're looking, I think someone needs to mute, can one of my panelists mute themselves because I'm getting a lot of feedback. Thank you. So during this month, we assess your motivation and your resilience. What we're looking for is raw potential, not your current ability. So, and if you make it through to that, you gain a spot in the Learn to Earn fellowship. So in the training phase, over a 2-year period, we take you from a complete beginner to a full stack software developer with a leaning on AI. There's no tuition and you earn a stipend while you learn. So you'll train full-time at one of our campuses, which are safe and they're well equipped. For the first 12 months, you'll learn the foundations of software engineering with a strong focus on AI. And then for the next 12 months, you'll do internships with companies where you'll have an opportunity to sharpen your skills in a real-world environment. When you graduate by making it to the end of the 2-year program, we will offer you a 2-year minimum contract at our talent agency where you'll have the opportunity to work on projects for global companies. But the end of the program, if you make it to the end, because it is a very intense, high-paced environment. I was seeing in the comments people thinking it's too good to be true. It's not too good to be true because you have to work really hard to get in. And then once you're in, you have to work really hard to stay in. And the method that we use to train you has been globally proven in over 40 countries. And we know that graduates from this program have gone on to work at leading companies like Meta and IBM and Facebook and Google. And the method builds real skills and teamwork and the speed of learning. By the end, you'll be technically excellent and you will be trained to think differently. And what makes our method different is that there are no teachers, there are no lectures, no one's going to tell you what to do. Instead, you progress by tackling hands-on challenges, doing code reviews and working in teams just like a real job. And you will learn to engage the people around you. We call this peer-to-peer learning, and it's a very powerful way to learn. And the curriculum's also gamified, so it stays engaging. And so what you'll be doing on a day-to-day basis is you'll show up at the center. We expect you to be there Monday to Friday. You participate in group work, code reviews. You'll build real software projects that mirror industry work. In return, what we expect from you, because from our side, we are offering the opportunity for world-class training. We're going to support you during that training period so that you can focus properly on getting the skills that you need, and then we'll assist you into paid work opportunities. But in return, we expect commitment. we expect grit and the consistency. It's a full-time commitment. You need to treat this like a job, and we expect you to have a team mindset. So if this sounds like something that you're keen to join, the first step is to go to our website, which is learntoearn.ng, play the game, and it might just end up changing your life. But Gift, you also asked me questions about success stories. So I mentioned earlier that I built a business like this in the UK, and we had some remarkable stories of single mom bus drivers and ballet dancers and receptionists who all became brilliant software developers. I can share a story of Amal, who's 22 years old. She had never written a line of code in her life. And for her, like many, the issue was money and infrastructure. She worked in her aunt's shop and her internet was unreliable. So the turning point for Amal was discovering this program. She passed the game, she survived the trials, and she really leaned into the campus facility and worked her way through the program and landed a job as a remote junior developer. I can go on, but I think let's rather open up the floor to questions.
Thank you very much, Kessia. Thank you to all our speakers as well. We'll jump right into it. So the first question I have here is, does one need to know how to operate a system very well before applying to Learn to Earn? So do they need to know how to use a laptop or a computer?
I'm happy to take that question. We like to work with a blank canvas, and that typically most people who start our program have zero coding experience. What we are interested is your raw potential and your ability to work through hard things and persistence and grit. It's not technical knowledge that we require right at the beginning. That's our job. That's our job to teach you. But we expect you to come with the right attitude and the right mindset, and to know that it's incredibly difficult. I've just been watching all the comments on the side, and everyone's like, is this too good to be true? And I don't really understand. And how come they're providing us with a stipend? And this feels like a scam. It's not a scam. It's really hard. It's really hard once you're in. But if you can put your head down and get through the work, you will find yourself on the other end as a world-class AI engineer that the world will depend on. And you'll find it very easy to land yourself a very interesting, rewarding, and lucrative career.
Thank you very much. Our next question here is, what is Learn to Earn's plans for people who chose Ikorodu campus, Lagos, but then it was changed to Ibeju-Lekki? They've not heard from us, and what next steps should be, they are not sure. I'm happy to take this, if that's okay. I would answer this. Thanks for that question. So when the campus was moved, we also sent communications to give people the option to move to our Yaba campus, which is currently our HQ. So if you prefer the option of getting into the program right now as opposed to waiting for the Ibeju-Lekki campus to be live, you can play the game under Yaba campus and show up for the physical check-in, and you're in. So the next check-in is on the 8th of May, and trials will start on the 11th. So if you want to join the next cohort right away, you can just do that and show up for check-in, and voila, you're in the program. The next question here is, are we giving a certificate after the 2 years of training? Kessia?
So we are currently working with multiple academic institutions to have the program formally recognized. In the meantime, after the 2 years of completion, you're given of course, a certification from Learn to Earn, but what we think is far more valuable that we give you after 2 years is the job, not so much the certificate.
I agree. Thank you. Someone is asking, what are the plans for Kaduna?
We currently have a facility in Kaduna. To explain how it works, we find a center in a particular city or town that's willing to host us. And once we secure that location, we market the opportunity to as many people as we are doing now, because we have a critical mass before we can get started with the trial or the training program. So our facility in Kaduna, and Gift will correct me if I'm wrong, is we have the ability to house 350 people there, which means we can't start the program until more than 350 people have successfully played and passed the game, so that we can move you into the trial phase. So if you want us to get started in a city, the best thing to do is to encourage your friends to play the game so we get more people to start, because we want to get going just as much as you do.
Just before I go to the next question, I've seen this one from Faith saying, how about American Campus Ibadan? It's same thing Kesa just said. Once we have enough people in a particular location, in this case Ibadan, play the game, we can open up the center for trials. So
But
it's the same thing.
Ibadan is going ahead in, I think
In
we're in May.
Yes, would announce shortly when that date would be.
The numbers are looking good in Ibadan, and we're hoping to go ahead in May. So get your friends to play the game in Ibadan so we can get it across the line and start.
Great. Someone is asking, how long will it take after playing the game to the start of the actual training? I just played the game, but yet to get any information on how and when the program is supposed to start.
It's a similar pattern. So we have to amass enough people to start in that game. But typically, we have intakes of the fellowship in February, in June, and in October. And so when we say fellowship, that means the actual training program. So if you've passed the game, then you'll wait to hear from us, and we will tell you when trials will begin. We host trials on a monthly basis, and we do it on a monthly basis because we're constantly assessing people to bring them into the training program. And then once we have enough people in a certain location, we'll start the training program in 3 distinct intervals in the year: February, in June, and in October.
All right, thank you. Next question here is, what if you start at Lagos and after a few months you want to relocate? Can you do a transfer to other states offering learn to earn?
Okay, we tend to assess this on a case-by-case basis, but we encourage you that once you start in a certain area, to finish in that area, it becomes very operationally difficult for us to constantly be moving people across to locations. Of course, if it's a very dire, family or personal situation, we'll take that into account, but we prefer for you to stay put. It's also better for you, because once you start the fellowship, you really need to buckle down and focus, and you start developing strong ties with your peer network. And so to start again in a fresh location, we think will only become disruptive to your progress.
Yes. Someone is asking about the age limit. They know it's 35 plus, but they really want to confirm. What's the age limit for learn to earn?
We are open to people above the age of 35.
Okay. Next question is, can someone do, it's hard to read, but can someone do or traits to possess? I'm guessing, what traits does someone need to possess to stand out in the program?
In order to progress in this program, you need to have an ability to work with people and to work collaboratively, because as I mentioned earlier, we don't have formal instructors, And so the way that you progress through the curriculum is with the people around you. Another thing that is consistent across our cohorts is the people who have a huge amount of grit and are comfortable in challenging working environments, because the pace is fast and it's about resilience. It's more about resilience, and it's not about what you know.
Okay. A number of the questions are similar, but this person really wants to know, when is Ibadan check-in?
I will have to ask my ops team.
To that, we would say very soon, would announce shortly, but we're looking at the month of May for that to happen. So same thing Kesia said, just get more people, get your friends and brilliant people in your circle to play the game, pass, and then would announce and you can all resume together. This
Okay.
person wants to know if
Abuja.
Abuja campus.
Abuja, we've had a good progress. We have found a new center, and we should be open for trials again in Abuja soon. We wanted to announce it, but we're just finalizing the last few things so that we don't announce the wrong thing and then have to eat our words later. So just bear with us.
All right. Joy wants to know if this is being recorded and if we can watch it later. The short answer is yes. You can watch, you can share the link with your friends who are not able to be on the call right now. They can watch it back and gain all the insights. Is the training 2 years, 5 days a week?
Yes.
Okay. This question, yes, Kesia, is it really hard?
I think that doing anything worthwhile is hard. I think any working environment is challenging. And if you, I mean, we'd all like to sit at home and watch movies all day, but if you want to make a name for yourself and prove your own self-worth and earn well and support your family, you have to get comfortable doing hard things.
Couldn't agree more. This person is saying that we need an accurate campus. Can you help, Kesia?
Okay, well, that's really helpful feedback. Thank you. We will take that up with our ops team.
Yes.
And there is a little place in our website for people to go and log in where they would like to see a Learn to Earn campus. And so we are always scouting. We really do have intentions to go across the country. And so if you are located in an area where we don't yet have a campus, please let us know. We want to hear from you.
Okay. Fidel is asking, how long do we wait before we receive? That question disappeared, but you get feedback immediately. You see your game status after a few hours. Just refresh, go back into your dashboard. You see if you passed, you see successful, try again, because each person has 4 attempts, or you see you didn't progress. And after, if you progressed, if you passed the game, you would usually get an email from us within the week to know next steps, which is registration and applying to come for the physical check-in and resuming trials. This person is asking, if we are not chosen in the trial, can we register again?
You mean if you passed?
No, if you do not pass, can we try again? Can we register again?
I think we allow 3 tries. I'd have to check with the team.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Is there flexibility in the learn-to-earn model to accommodate a learner who is currently employed but committed to dedicated tangible hours for learning?
Unfortunately, our training program requires you to be on campus Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. So I would struggle to understand how you would also be able to deliver at a job. This is a full-time gig, which is why we provide you with a stipend.
Okay. The Abuja question was answered. I'm guessing Ayomide just joined, but he says he's been waiting for over 5 months now. Kesa, please tell him or her that Abuja is
We
coming.
just secured another location in Abuja. We have seen the numbers go up in Abuja. We have wanted, just like you, to start trials again, and we are days away from an announcement when check-in will happen in Abuja.
Okay. I think that's about it. We have a question for Emmanuel. Amara is asking where in Kaduna Paragon is located. She says it's confusing during registration. What area in Kaduna?
All right. Thank you so much, Steve. So it's located at Tafa Balewa Road, city center at Kaduna State. We will also make a video on how to locate it via our social media handles as well, and also tag the length and team as well, so as to be easier and very accessible. We will also drop the map location as well. Thank you.
Okay. That's almost all the questions we have. So someone, Kesia, retorted that we didn't answer their question correctly. So they were asking about trials. If they've done trials and didn't pass the 1 month trials, can they try again?
If they didn't make it through trials,
Yes.
we don't sit you again for trials. Trials is your shot.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's about it. Not a lot of Ibadan specific questions either. I think that is clear. I'm looking at a question here about stipend, and I'm going to just move on because, like all the speakers have said, the question and the focus is really on what you're learning and the opportunity for you to be able to transform your life and better your career outcomes. Peter wants to know, I think this will be our final question, what will happen to someone who passed trials and did not resume for February and want to join the next cohort in June?
Peter, we'd be so happy to have you.
Okay.
So get in touch with the team. If you had passed the trials and didn't resume in February, get in touch with the team. We'll make an allocation for you to join in June.
Okay. I think that's about it. Before we go, I will take final words from David and Emmanuel. Just
do you mind if
30
can I just get back to one question, because I want to qualify the previous question as to why we don't require people to re-enter trials. And the reason for that is that trials is a month-long selection program which we host in centers across the country, and there is a cost associated to that. Everyone who comes to trials is afforded a meal. There's the laptops that we provide, the electricity, the internet, and this is a relatively new program that we're trying to make viable. And so if you get the opportunity to sit in trials, you really need to use that as your one shot. It's unsustainable for us to continuously test people that didn't make it through the first trial. That's why, the remote testing, we give 3 opportunities, but this is so that we can use the funds that we have available to make sure that we can train as many people as possible. And those funds are not unlimited. So if you do get into trials, best you give it your all, because you have no shot.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Final words from David and Emmanuel.
All right, thank you very much. And I would just like to emphasize that this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and the opportunity will not translate into anything if it is not optimized. So this is something that I think I recommend for anyone who want to have another beautiful story of somebody who started small and hands-on being big. So you could be the next story that is coming out of Africa, from Nigeria, and by extension from Ibadan, if you just start today and register and play the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Emmanuel?
All right. My final words will be: you can start now. Don't be scared. Um, Somewhere in Kaduna right now, someone is learning a particular skill that will change his life. And the question will be, will that person be you? Or would you still be thinking about starting? You don't need to have everything all figured out. You just need to take that first step. And today, the gift is right here, and the gift is learned to earn. And you should begin playing the game, and you should start enrolling. Tell your friends, tell your loved one, tell your family that a life changing opportunity is here, and you can start now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for making the time. And to you in the audience, it's www.learntoearn.ng to register, play the game, and prepare to join the trials. Share with your friends and all the brilliant people you know. If you have questions, you feel like your question wasn't answered on this call, you can always reach out to us on our social media platforms. We're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and TikTok. If you think those channels wouldn't do the most justice, you can also reach out to us directly on emails. It is info@learntoearn.ng. Also, please make sure you are following us on these platforms and turn on post notifications so you get updates in real time. Thank you once again, everyone. Thanks, Emmanuel, Kessia, David, for your time. Later. Bye for now.
Bye.